All right, let me know if the audio's all right. You know what's going on. First day back after a little bit. You can tell my voice is wrecked. Patience shot, trains wrecked, holiday full effect. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. We'll get started in 2 seconds. Let me know where you're from. What's going on, Rick? What's going on, Joris? Edgar, how's it going? How's it going? It's going to be a little bit of a smash and grab start because I literally got in here just now. But we're going to do this, okay, guys? Let me know if you can hear me all right. Hang on. All right. Let's click this in. We're going to shut this off and do one of these. Bingo bango. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Wasn't here last week. Imaging USA. Hopefully some of you in this chat are from Imaging USA, or not from, but like you went to it. Not that you like live there, right? It's in a different city every year. So let's see. We got Rigger Jeff. What's going on? Mark, Tony, what's going on? What's going on? All right, first of all, I want you guys to notice the shirt. This was a custom-made shirt thanks to PPA for their PhotoVision platform. The PhotoVision, sorry, there's somebody right. The PhotoVision platform is basically their version of Netflix, which is putting some of the videos that we made for the PPA channel that you probably didn't see, and some that you probably maybe have seen. And it's basically a subscription platform for photo education from some of their, who they consider their top hosts and educators. So make sure you go and check out PhotoVision. Just so you know how deep they go and how personal they go, the shirts were originally teal and turquoise for everybody else, and they knew that's not really my color, so they made me like a custom-made black. They made like 2 out of the 5,000 of them that they made were like this color. So I want to say a huge thank you to Marnie and Angela and everybody else at PPA for accommodating me. That's amazing. So had to rep the shirt, but go check out PhotoVision. If you're looking for like a next step of your photo education that's like vetted, it's not just like random YouTubers, random whatever you find out there, and hopefully the information is going to fit and correct. These are actual accredited photographers. So go check out PhotoVision through Professional Photographers of America, PPA, or our PPA, OUR PPA. On YouTube is their YouTube channel. Me, Daniel Norton, Absise, Vanessa Joy. There's a massive library on there. I can't believe how much content that they've been influxing for free. And then if you want the next step, you've got the PhotoVision platform. So go check that out, okay? Why is the water black? Because it's this matcha mushroom tea I've been rocking lately. And I really like it. And I was in a jam this morning. I couldn't go get coffee or anything. I'm telling you, trains on a Monday that are on a holiday schedule, insane. You're talking about 15-minute waits between trains, all these sorts of transfers. Lines aren't going where they got to go, so it's a whole thing. But that's why it's not black. It's a deep green. If anything, it looks like some heavy algae going on here. But you know, it's not Brooklyn water. In fact, technically, Brooklyn and NYC water is some of the best tap water you can find. Actually, believe it or not, I'm not making this up. Google your brains out. It'll come to fruition for you. I put up 2 different question stickers this week because I'm an idiot and I have to go through both of them. But pretty much, if you guys, we'll get into some of these questions that you guys have, and then we'll go into whatever you want to get into in the chat. So let me know, first of all, what's going on. Let me know if you're new. Let me know if you were at Imaging. Let me know what you thought of Imaging. Let me know if you stopped by the Adorama booth. Let me know if you got one of these guys. The foam, I think the foam cameras are the coolest thing. They are like on brand, and you want to talk about a nice stress ball, forget about it. That pizza I had looked delicious. Yeah, so that's my welcome home pizza. Before I go to trade shows, I cut out pizza for like 3 weeks. I try to get myself in some good cardio shape so that when I'm talking fast, moving quick, lugging gear, I don't look like I'm dying on stage, right? Then I just wait for that pizza when I come home. My boy Nino, he's right across the street, and he goes, "Hey, where you been?" Gives me my pizza. I shut off my phone, and I recalibrate my life. So huge shout out to my boy there. But yeah, really quick before we get into the questions, I want to give you guys, as always, the rundown on what's happening at Adorama. So, oh boy, where is it? This already happened, but so Dan did a really good demo on 3-point lighting last week. So if you're wanting to learn like the classic lighting setup, Adorama TV, it's up there. Dan came in, crushed it as usual. Daniel's next live stream is going to be about the mode dial. I know it sounds stupid to some people, but it's not, because even the most professional cameras, highest end cameras, have all those modes in it. You have a P program mode, all automatic mode in $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 cameras, okay? So it's not dumb. Even if you think you're like I'm an only manual kind of guy, check out this live stream that's coming up with Daniel. I think I don't think it's this week. I think it's the end of the month. It's a Thursday, 5 p.m. He's going to take it through the advantages of every mode. So no matter what camera you have, it's worth listening to, and you might even unlock a workflow you didn't even think about, okay? The next thing I want to give you guys, Coffee with Creators is back in full effect. I got Victoria Granoff, who is a really well-known and fantastic food stylist. So if you never thought about what commercial level was like when shooting food and having a food stylist, it's just like styling a human being. You're styling food. You're trying to make it look the best that it can, get the most quality out of it, get in front of your camera the best possible subject at the time of the shot. We're going to talk to Victoria Granoff. She's also pretty much a creative director, I would say, but I think she's known mostly for food. And we got Ian Spanier, who is a celebrity photographer, portrait photographer. He was the class right before mine at Imaging. So, you know, we finally were ships passing the night that got to shake hands. Solid guy. He's going to pop in here the 28th. Yeah, the 28th. So every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, we go live from here. Actually, it probably looks more like this to some of you guys. It looks more like this, right? We go live from here, Coffee with Creators. We sit down. We have almost 80 episodes coming up, guys. This is 79 different human beings that you should know about, professionals in this industry, different types of professionals. Gives you more of a wherewithal about who you might be working with, even if you're not in that profession, what type of people do what we do. What it takes, how people have built their careers differently. So make sure you check out Coffee with Creators on Wednesdays. And if you haven't, they're sitting there for you. Go to Coffee with Creators. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the playlist in the chat, because I think we need to boost those numbers. And I think you guys are all missing out on this one. Adorama. Let me just go. The demos at Imaging were great. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are happy with those demos. I think that's... At trade shows, I'm not even saying this, I think that we have the best demo rosters, the best actual demos in our booths. I think we just crush it. Okay, so Daniel is doing the mode dial thing on the 29th, okay? So this is Daniel on the 29th. These are the Coffee with Creators, but I'm going to go to playlists. Actually, I think I can go to podcast and get it, right? Yeah. View full podcast. I mean, just so you have an idea, look at how many guests have been on this show, and you guys probably missed all of it. I mean, I think every episode has been so beneficial. So we're going to hit copy on this, and I'm going to send it over to the chat, and you guys can hopefully plug into it, and I can see you guys on Wednesdays as well. You know? Let's see if I can pin this to the chat. Okay, so link to the playlist is on the top of the chat. Okay, guys? All right, if you guys want to get into the questions, let me know. If you want to get into the questions, you know what I need you to do. I want you to type READY in the chat, READY, and then I want you to tell me what you shoot and what you shoot with. Not, you know, let me know what you're shooting, what's physically in front of your lens, what subject matters you're putting out there to the world, and let me know what you shoot with, what kind of equipment we're looking at here, and let me know what kind of photographers you guys are. I'm so much kinder on YouTube. I don't think you guys realize when I hit the stage, it's after being at a place for like a week. I am exhausted. And I kind of look at those stages as like deep cuts, B-sides, exclusives, right? I try to do things that you paid to take a trip, to get a hotel room, to get a pass, to lug your gear, all your time. I try to give you something that you're not going to find on YouTube. I try to give you something as real as I can give it. I try to make an impact so it's not boring. How many classes have you sat in that you don't remember because they were just so boring to you sometimes, right? That's the last thing I want to do. So am I yelling at you? Yes. right? Am I saying some things that might be off color? Absolutely. Am I going to clean it up going forward? You bet. But the reality is, it's not that I'm being mean. It's that I mean everything I say. Does that make sense? I'm not being mean. I mean everything I say when I'm on those stages. And I only have you for like an hour, right? So, you know, I got to drill it into your skulls, kid. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Michael, and welcome. Are you new here, Michael? Did you have you never been on one of these streams before? Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Michael, if he's new here. The last episode with Joe was absolutely phenomenal. I'm probably 30 plus years younger than Joe, and I hope to have an ounce of his drive. I know. I can't tell you. I'm like half Joe's age or whatever, and this dude is like just crushing me every time we're on set. I'm like, how do you find this? But Joe could show up to set completely tired out of his mind, but the second he's in it, the second his brain clicks into gear, it's like insane how much of a just a soul energy boost my man gets, and that's how you know Joe is the real deal. Joe is the absolute real deal. Wayne, Seth, is great seeing you in imaging last week. The class you taught was absolutely the best one I attended out of all the ones. Thank you so much. I went 3 days. And you went to 3 days of pre-con? Wow, you are dedicated. Pre-con is some intensive stuff. I am going to say the class I did at imaging, while it was a repeat demo, I'm going to go on record and say I absolutely could have done that class better. I got off that stage feeling like I left a lot on that stage. So WPPI coming up, and not that I don't think it was a bad class. I think I got in what I wanted to get in. I proved the points I wanted to prove, but there was just so much stuff I left in my skull when I was rambling to myself when it got quiet. And I was like, oh man, I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done this. But that's how it is when I don't script anything, right? So I'm going to be at WPPI in Vegas in March. I have a stage. I am running this back, and mark my words, this is the final, the finale, the end of days for that demo. And I'm not going to be on stages probably for a couple years. I'm taking a break. I did 6 years of stages. I got to give someone else a shot on those stages, right? So WPI is going to be the sunset for that demo. Hopefully I can retool it, come up with a different scene to show you guys, and I'll bring it back maybe one day. But this is it. So if you're going to be at WPI and you want to come through to my demo, this is where we're doing it, right, guys? You're in front of the cactus lady. I'm wondering who that cactus lady was. For those of you who don't know, I asked, like, where are we putting our model? And this woman came up with this weird bar that she knows of called the cactus whatever. Had like 16 colors of light. And I was like, what is this lady doing to me right now? So I'm wondering, I don't know. She had to have been to one of my demos before and knew she could kind of dig into my ribs a little bit there. All right, so we got sports photographers. D4S, wow, OG over here, nice. Had to put my phone down and took no photos or video. My wife was pissed and trying to explain the demo with no photos. Well, I gotta tell you, I cannot stand when you guys are in classes and you stand there with your phones and you do this and you say, this is the only way I learned. I can't remember otherwise. No, you won't watch it back. You won't learn. And you didn't pay me for content, right? So I need you guys to lock in. Somebody was in that crowd with a camera and a shotgun mic on a tripod. I'm like, this is not how we do things. Do you record a movie you go see? We don't do this, right? When you guys have the chance to be in person for classes in this YouTube era, lock in, focus in. If you're not keeping up, ask questions, but be there. Be there. I make a point of having no slides or PDF files or PowerPoints when I do stages, right? And the whole point of that is because I'm there with you. I need you there with me. And Daniel's the same way. Abc say my man is like shooting straight out the bat. We don't show you a bunch of slideshows. We go for it, right? So next time you go to a stage or a trade show, whatever, really just, if you got to write notes, but like really be there. Be present, okay? All right, what else we got? You're going to be at the Lighting Summit. So the Lighting Summit, I'm doing a sculpting with light class. It's not high concept. It's more technical. Going to be using the edge mask and all that kind of stuff that you saw me do here. So that's a pro photo stage. And I'll be doing that, I think, March 2nd. And I don't know when my stage is. I think it's like, I want to say the 4th. I'm making dates up now. But I will be at the Adorama booth. Make sure you swing by the Adorama booth, get your Brooklyn reflector and all that other stuff, okay? All right. Let's get into some questions. So, and of course, everyone on the earth is texting me right now. Why? Okay. So I have a question here about how to photograph tattoos. I'm not really going to do that as a demo. The two things you should keep in mind when photographing, actually three things you should, not two things. Two things you should really keep in mind when photographing tattoos on a model, if that's the point of the shoot, is one, understand that tattoos are beneath a layer of skin, and you're gonna have to moisturize that top layer of skin to make it translucent, to really make this, the ink saturation pop. What you're gonna run into next is the second thing you have to consider is shine. Because you're moisturizing, you're gonna have some really high shine skin. Try to wipe it down as soft as you can. You don't want to irritate, you don't want to cause any color discoloration to skin. No matter what skin tone they are, you just don't want to cause any sort of redness to affect skin tone. And you are going to want to use light sources that won't give you specular highlights, something really diffused. Maybe even, I've seen, I'm not even making this up, I've even seen tattoo photographers, and when I say tattoo photographers, I mean ones that shot for magazines, throw polarizing filters on their lenses to mitigate that shine. So moisturize, pull all the color, make that top low skin translucent. Understand that posing can warp tattoos, you know, so if there's something that should have a straight line, pay attention to it. I have tattoos on my leg that if I bend my leg, those straight lines go, like there's a key on my leg. I bend my knee, that key goes, wah. So we're not doing that, you know. Or lean into it, make it different, show the warping of the pieces, but then it's more of a shot of posing in your model rather than the work that's on the model. So that's what I'll say about tattoos. By the way, nobody says hello to Quinn. What is this? Who raised you guys? Who raised you? Quinn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's some new people here too I want you to meet, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know who raised these people, but this is where we are. All right. Hey, what's going on, Eric? So Michael's asking, yeah, my DMs are a mess. After a trade show, whatever. What was the clear material I used to make the window? So on the stage when I did the rainy car scene, it's called Duralar. Duralar. Duralar, like durable and mylar, Duralar, right? Okay. But you can use anything. I mean, I've used plexiglass, which I think works better because it's like thicker and changes the light a little bit because it diffracts a little differently. Diffracts. So yeah. Okay. Let me just do this. Let me take a look at these questions again. Do you ever use or recommend a light meter? Absolutely. I use light meters all the time. You just don't see me using them in demos because I'm kind of working on the fly really fast. But the reality is that your light meter, one, it's something that you pick up and it is in your kit forever, okay? Especially modern ones. You're talking about $200 for a Sekonic that is, the 308 is your baseline. This is like going to give you everything you need that is basic information. Like, it's not going to give you flash duration. It's not going to give you percentage of ambient. At least I don't think it does. But it gives you enough. And this is about two and change. Sekonic is the brand, in my opinion, when it comes to light meters. Abscisse, huge Sekonic guy. Look, no matter what camera you buy, lens you buy, whatever camera you switch to, whatever lighting you buy, constant strobe, stands, whatever, your light meter stays with you. So and if you want to understand light better and better, why wouldn't you have a light meter, right? So it's an investment, but if I'm doing something where one, I have to recreate a setup that I had in a different environment, or again in general, right? So if I need it to be F8 in front of Quinn and I need that hair light to read something like 5.6 or whatever, and I want the fill light to read, you know, I don't know, 4 or what, 6.3. Let's say I'm doing something, 5.6. Let's say I'm doing that. So instead of worrying about, well, the floors in the area that I'll be working on will be white and it's going to change something because of all the bounce or whatever, I'm keeping it consistent here. The lights, the distances and all that stuff, it could fluctuate. But if I'm keeping the exposure consistent where I'm in the pocket. I'm sorry, if you're keeping the exposure consistent where I need it, which is my subject, you know, you're going to want accurate tools that do that, right? So I think it's one of these overlooked tools. It's one of these things that people go, why is it so expensive? Because I'll be honest with you, if the light meter was really inexpensive, I'd question how accurate it is and how reliable it is. It's something you pick up once, you rely on it, you leave it in your bag, all right? If I was doing something where I'm setting up multiple shooting bays for, let's say, a big corporate job, I got 3 sets going on for 1,000 headshots at a conference. I'm going to use a light meter to get everybody dialed in so that everybody matches and it doesn't look like, well, this photographer shot that and this photographer shot that. No, we want a uniformed look light meter, right? If I want to see what my lights are doing, if I want to make sure that everything is working the way I want it to work, or reading the way I want it to read, or that I'm using the same, let's say I'm using 3 of the same constant light source at the same power in theoretically the same distance, I'm going to want to see if they're actually reading the percentage that the light is telling me. Not all light, not all lighting fixtures are created equal. There's reasons that there's, $5,000 lights that are the same power as something that would be, a few $100. And so you're going to want to see if 30% on that light actually is reading the same across. And you're going to want to keep, it's all measurements, right? This is a science. There are mathematics to it. So this is just a measuring tool for that, right? So yeah, absolutely use a light meter. And even if you kind of grow away from it and you say, oh, I'm going to use TTL and stuff, you're still using a light meter. It's just in the camera. It's a different type of light meter. The meter in your camera is reflective. This is an incident meter. This is measuring the light reflecting off of your subject. This is measuring the light, I don't want to say laying on, but yeah, basically illuminating your subject, right? So this is measuring the light falling on my subject. The meter in my camera is measuring the light reflecting off my subject, okay? Everybody with me? This chat went dead. Are you guys with me? And I got 60 of you and 19 likes. Am I doing that bad, guys? Hook it up with a like. Would it kill you? Would it kill you? All right. Generally speaking, when is a time where you should not use auto white balance? Beginner here, and I usually try to shoot on auto white balance. One time you shouldn't be using auto white balance is if you are creating the light, like strobe. So for example, I'm in all this blue light, right? If I put it into auto white balance, my camera reads the blue light. It might make my white balance more yellow, warmer. And then when I shoot a strobe, that is really the exposure we are capturing, that strobe starts looking yellow or warm instead of neutral and daylight. So auto white balance is a nice little thing to throw in your back pocket for when you're in changing light conditions on the fly. But if you're creating the light, you want to set that white balance in your camera, the light that you're documenting. This is why when we do demos, or you saw the demos we do, we start with a black frame because we're eliminating all the ambient light. All this blue light, that camera's going to read that in auto white balance and go, yo, this is blue. I got to make everything white. And it's going to shove a bunch of yellow and warm in there. Then my strobe goes in, which is daylight. Somehow it's not daylight anymore. We wonder why? No, we don't. Auto white balance. Some cameras are a little smarter and they know something's in the shoe and it will go into more of a flash white balance, but that's not even what you want to do because not all flash is the same. Some flash shoots a little bluer, some shoots a little greener. And I'm not even making this up. You can actually watch different fixtures in the same brand shooting different types of color tones, temperatures, all sorts of stuff, right? What you're always paying for with lighting is one, reliability, consistency. You're taking away this wild card of the light's doing whatever it wants. No, I need the light to do exactly what I'm telling it to do, exactly what I'm expecting it to do, so that that variable is off the table, But and also keep in mind, you guys are shooting raw. You can always adjust your white balance in post if you need to, but just be aware of what you're looking at and notice the differences. I think the hardest thing when being a beginner is having an eye that isn't around someone to help you train it, right? So you see a white balance, auto white balance, you just assume, well, I guess that's what it is. But then a seasoned person with a trained eye might go, well, actually, that looks a little green to me, How many times have you guys shot underneath a tree and all of a sudden there's like a green hue to things because it's reflecting off or shooting through all that green fauna, right? Okay, I do have questions in the question sticker. For those of you who don't know, before we go live, I post a question sticker on my own Instagram that you guys can fill out just in case you guys have no questions in the chat. So I'm just gonna get through a few of these. We answered the tattoo question, the light meter question. So Studio 81's asking with a quote unquote regular C stand, which would be this, right? Regular C stand. Are you supposed to counterweight the other end if you boom an arm out? Okay, so let's talk about number one. I don't think you guys realize, but C stands were never made to hold lights. Oh, the controversy, right? These are made to hold flags, but they work great for lights, right? And on set, especially when you're moving fast, especially if you got legit grips. Shout out to Martin, what's going on? You can erect or set anything to work, right? So when you have your light out, number one, you're gonna make sure that you don't automatically put it out 1,000,000 feet if you don't need to. The more you put it out, the more susceptible to sway you get, right? In the end, you only wanna put it out as much as you need. Tell you the truth, most people throw an arm over when they can really just do this. They can just do this, right? Oh, hey, Kristen, how are you? You want the light here, but somehow you have the stand over here, when in reality, you could probably shoot like this. It still gets your light pretty much where you need it, and you didn't need to boom it out. A lot of people just go right to the arm and they don't have to. And look, I'm susceptible to that as well because I just like things out of my way, but I've been doing this a long time. So do you counterweight the arm? Well, 100% you counterweight the leg, but the only time you're really gonna worry about counterweighting the arm is if you're noticing that there is still a problem with the arm having too much weight on it. If you're hitting that point, odds are you need a stronger arm and not a standard C-stand arm. You need something like a mini boom, which is a, do I have one? I have one at my studio. You guys might have seen me use it on my own channel. No, I don't have one here. Okay. It's a bigger diameter. It has an actual tier system here. It's almost like having a center column up here. And that is a stronger arm for a reason. And that's to handle heavier lights. You shouldn't really have anything on a C-stand arm like this that is going to put you in a situation where this is shady. However, you can, let's see if I can rig this. I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to give it a shot. However, you can do things like, watch me get into the weeds on this now. Actually, this is not the arm I want. This is the arm I want. You can do things like get a 20-inch C-stand arm. What you're looking at right now is a 40-inch C-stand. This is from a 20-inch, a shorty, right? And what you can do, you're looking into the Westcott Mini Boom. Okay, Westcott Mini Boom is cool. I use the Avenger Mini Boom at my studio, but that's just what I have. You're just gonna wanna go with a reputable grip brand, not random brand on some whatever website, no Alibaba stuff. And don't forget, when you guys are buying legit gear, make sure you support some place that's supporting you, Adorama. And also don't forget, you're supporting the guys that work here as well. I got kids here that are starting their careers. I got guys here that are seasoned pros between jobs. Like, you're supporting the industry. What you can do is, if you're getting some sway, you can actually put on a 20-inch arm. I think, oh, I wish Martine was in this chat right now from Matthews. The Matthews, this is going on the wrong way, by the way. The Matthews Instagram page has such amazing, quick 60-second grip tips. You guys should all follow Matthews Studio Equipment on, and that's with 2 T's, Studio Equipment, and say what's up to Martine. He's the guy with the black ponytail in every video. My man is like the grip. That is the guy. Okay, so what I'm basically doing is, this is a knuckle. This knuckle is the same knuckle here. I'm using that 5/8 socket here. And then you can do a lot of things to this, like put it into a super clamp, some sort of another knuckle situation. Or you can actually grip it to the knob here, and then you have a brace, right? this is a if you need to situation. I am not the biggest fan of doing this way, but I have seen plenty of people do this. So I'm going to show you guys. And this is from when I worked, I was on a Viacom set when I first saw this, but I was also like 19 when I saw this. So, you know, but you see what I'm saying? You can actually put this to this. If you had to, this is in a pinch situation. This is, I don't know what's going on, but I need to fix this sway wobble thing going on. And, you know, this is the jankiest way possible. But you now have a braced arm, right? You could do it. So I just don't think you should be put into a situation where you're getting that. What you might end up, one reason you might get that though is, let's say there's something light on here like a flag, but it's in a windy situation and it's bouncing around. That I understand, right? So this is one solution, but again, I would probably put a pin here, super clamp here, and then run this into the super clamp, you know? My motto is like, once it gets dicey, I rethink the setup, right? If I start seeing grip hitting a maximum, I go, okay, why am I worried about this? And what could I do different? And most of the time it's upgrade whatever I'm using, right? So if the arm has got a little bend to it, you can even run two arms together. Let me see if I can even remember how to do this. It's been a long time. Let's see if I can run two arms together here. I think the way I did this was you run it into this. Trying to remember. Man, I haven't done this in a long time, guys, so forgive me. I remember, and then this, I'm trying to remember what I did. There's a way to bridge two arms together, and I can't remember. I probably haven't done this in 20 years. I haven't had to do this because I just went to a mini boom. But there is a way. You know what? Let me hit up Martine about how he goes about doing a double arm. But you can do, so it's like, so it looks like this kind of. You know what I mean? So now you have a double arm, so it has way less flex, but you lose a lot of mobility from it. So again, it's like an if you need to situation. But my motto is, if you're already thinking this way, think about swapping and upgrading to something that's got a little bit more of a weight rating to it, you know? Oh my God, man. You guys are hitting me with stuff I haven't done in a long time. Because I just get the proper equipment, right? And it's not even that expensive to get a boom arm these days. So I asked you that question because I have a 4-foot octa with a 400-watt light, and I could see it. Well, if you are putting a 400-watt light with a 4-foot octa and you need to boom it out, guess what? That 4-foot octa isn't getting very far off the stand anyway. So think to yourself, what am I really doing with that 4-foot octa that I need to put it on an arm that far out? If it's bowing, it's because you have a lot of length on your arm. Man, now I'm kind of mad that I can't remember how to do a double arm. I got to go now. See, now I got to go run drills here. So how far off are you really doing it, right? How far off, right? If it's this far off, why? Why is it this far off the stand? Think about that, right? Your 4-foot octa, if you're trying to just get some distance, right? Your 4-foot octa is here. Is that enough for you? Because this should not be bowing if it's not even half the arm. Once you're past that, and that's when you start seeing some that's when you start seeing some of this. All right. So I think you gotta kind of think about how much you really need to extend that arm. That's your first and easiest point of, now I want to figure out how to do this double arm. I can't remember how I used to do it, and it's going to drive me crazy. I'm pretty sure. Nah, I don't want to get into this. Not while I'm live, at least. You guys are going to be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It's just been a long time. I think what I did was I ran it this way. I ran the arm this way. And then you had to use the end of the arm instead of using a, can't remember, man. Wow. Now I feel like I'm so rusty and I got to get my grip together. All right, let's go to another one. What's the best way to network in the photography community? Get out there. Get out there and go to things. Go to gallery showings, go to workshops, go to panels, go to conferences, join organizations, Professional Photographers of America, ASMP, APA, PPA, all these things. Just get out there. You want to go kick rocks? Go where they are kicking rocks, right? So you just have all these options out there. You just have to go out there and do it, right? Even if you can't get there in person, if you're in like a smaller remote area, they have plenty of virtual meetups, right? But also, if you are trying to network, don't think you're bigger than being able to assist for somebody, right? You know, I'm 25 years deep. Joe McNally calls me, I'm assisting that guy. Daniel Norton asks me, I'm assisting that guy. Ab Cisse calls me, I'm assisting that guy. David Bergman needs me, I'm assisting that guy. Like, what, you know, if someone needs help, you can't not learn from them, right? Even if it's something as like their methods of business or whatever, who cares? But just go out there, go to things, go to critiques, be part of it, jump into live streams. You know what I'm saying? So that's my answer to that. You know, you can't network if you're not going out to find the network, right? Okay. What genres of photography do I think will be most affected by AI? I think we're already seeing it, right? I think one, you're going to see people that would never pay you for a headshot. And I'm talking about people that would never pay for a headshot. These people that would never want to come in for one will probably do generative AI. I think product photography, I think they're going to, you know, you're going to see a world where they just scan an item and they're able to generate it to do whatever they want it to do. All sides of it, post it to a website for e-commerce. I think e-commerce is going to have a tough time, but I think we're going to see where that works and where that doesn't, what's considered honest marketing and what's considered simulated, right? So there's a lot. What I'm worried about is someone going, you know what? I don't want you to shoot the fantasy that I want my wedding to be remembered as. I'm just going to have it generated so I have that wedding. We might go through some years of people doing that and then basically not feeling that they got anything out of it and then going back to having it actually documented. But anything that somebody just wouldn't want to pay for. So let me give you an example. A long time ago, people were like, oh man, there's all these eBay stores popping up. Do you guys remember that? And they're saying they'll photograph your item and they'll sell it for you. They're killing photographers. I'm like, no, they're not. Those people never would have gone to a photographer to sell their stuff anyway. They're going to a place for the service of selling it, and the way they sell it is getting you a half decent photo of it, you know? Or, you know, people shoot with their phone and they're fine. But I think the value in photography is going to be, of course, experiential, but also, are those images going to benefit your client? Will it create an impact? Will it actually show so for example, I'm a big believer that all these branding shoots that people do have to be as genuine as possible because you're knowing the person that you're hiring. So if someone says like, oh, I'm a fitness, I'm a personal trainer and I need a branding photo shoot. Okay, cool. They want you to get an idea of who they are that you're going to be hiring with your well-being, that when they go to see you, that they go to meet you, that they already have a feeling of a connection to it. They won't get a pure idea of your brand, right? When I was on stage, I said, when you shoot for everybody, you shoot for no one, right? Your style, let's say you're more of like a punk, rough around the edges, and you got like a real experimental feel to your work. There might be a heavily tattooed, punked out, old hardcore dude that's a personal trainer that wants that aesthetic. They're not looking for light and airy, laughing with a sun hat. They're not looking for that, right? So I think we're genuinely looking for, you're going to find people that are looking for genuine. We're going to go through some time where people feel a distaste in their mouth about the AI generated stuff they paid for, and then they're gonna, those that are serious or those that feel the need to upgrade their media will actually hire a photographer for real. They'll understand the value of that. You know, there's that, you know. All right. I guess I can't avoid this, huh? So Kristen's asking, how do you feel about Evoto launching and pulling the AI headshot generator during imaging? They made a lot of photographers mad. The reason they made a lot of photographers mad is because they basically launched something with actual verbiage that says, you don't need to have a photographer shoot your headshot. Here you go. And then the second thought is, okay, what did you train that AI with? You had access to thousands of professional photographers that are making adjustments in real time to get the image quality and look that they want, to train the AI into what image would be most optimal. They're saying they didn't train it on that, but they're also saying that they accidentally launched this software that had a fully branded selling page and an FAQ. Okay. Tough to swallow, tough to believe. But even if that is true, then baseline, real baseline, how much do you trust how they're ran if that's the kind of mistakes they're making? So I know a lot of photographers that are addicted to this software. They're just like, I don't care. It made me deliver photos so fast. If that's the kind of work you're putting out and this is your philosophy to it, it's still an application that's available on market. They do probably the most notable job as far as AI retouching, not hand retouching, like I mean by a human, AI retouching. And a lot of people and most newer photographers don't even know what they're looking at as far as something that looks overly retouched. The majority of people over retouch, in my opinion, period. But you're also talking to a guy that doesn't want to retouch anything, right? So I really would worry about images just not being documentary anymore and not really feeling. And look, I'm not going to say I don't retouch. I will for a client, and I will color grade, and I will tweak some things here and there. But I'm not looking to clone pixels and take away who the human being is or look at a wrinkle as detrimental. I also don't believe in this smoothed out skin, Vaseline over everything, sharpening the eyes thing either. I don't. I wasn't raised like that, but I'm from an older school time, right? So I worry about the younger generations leaning on this AI retouch and thinking that this is what images should be, could be, you know, before they even develop a voice of their own, or perspective or style of their own. With that said, look who's really using this AI retouching software more than anyone. Wedding photographers, high volume photographers, people that are shooting things that aren't exactly nourishing their soul, but they are making a living, and that's totally fine. I just worry about any type of company that is taking as much data from me as some of these AI companies are, and then what are they doing with it? We're still in the Wild West of this. This feels like the internet day one or whatever. Like, there's no rules, let's go, you know? I do also think you have to put into account that generated images, like generated headshots, are not copyrightable, right? At least not right now. So will that extend to images altered by AI? Will that extend that far that you can't even copyright your images because they've been so far altered by the retouching of a machine? Because don't forget, the retouching style was taken from 1,000 other people's styles and put in there. So is it really your style? Like, then there's the debate. Well, what about you as a human that's influenced by 13 other photographers? And is that the same thing? Like, we can keep going on and on and on about this, right? It's tough. It's really, really tough. For me personally, I like what Capture One is doing, what Capture One is. It is a commercial standard tethering. Every set I've ever been on, Capture One, and they've been doing AI retouching. However, it's all local. It's not phoning home. They don't charge me to export. It doesn't need an internet connection to work, period. So it's mine, right? Like that feels a little more my speed and what I would want to go through. You are the end user and it's up to you to decide what is for you, right? I think there is a lot of damage control going on over there right now with the Voto. I'm not sure what side of the mouth to listen to right now. But if you are an Evoto user, it is up to you to make your decision going forward. If you're totally fine with it, okay. What I have a problem with is people going online and saying, don't get too emotional about it. Think about how great this is for us and how fast we can get through it. Okay. Okay. If you really think it's emotional for people to wonder what's going on with their data or what they've been basically paying a company for and what they're actually taking, like, I don't know. The one thing that bothered me was the TOS saying, them saying that they don't use user data to train AI. And then in the TOS or in the settings, there's a toggle that literally lets you opt in or out of them using your images for that. So it's like, what do you mean, right? So again, I have nothing for or against Evoto. I personally do not use it. I tried it for a minute just to see what it was so I can understand what's going on in our industry and our market. Personally, it wasn't for me. It just doesn't do it just doesn't give me what I'm looking for. And I just want to stay in one program and I just stick to Capture One personally, but I totally understand and do not blame anybody for whatever they're getting out of Voto that they're happy with. And I also want to add on to this and listen to me clearly, very, very clearly. All these high-end, top-end, well-known photographers that are fronting for that brand because they use the product, they genuinely like the product. They aren't on the inside. They don't know what's going on. None of this is their fault. None of this is them being shady or whatever. They just said, oh, this program does what I want to have happen. Then I'm going to go use it. Oh, and I will then, talk in their trade show booth or on social. This doesn't have anything to do with them. They are not the company. They are not the company. All these brand ambassadors, all these well-known photographers that are talking for them are not the company. Okay? Do not attack them in their media. Do not put them against the wall questioning them. This was like a blind side from every... however, I don't think it was that much of a blind side because I do think you're kind of kidding yourself if a company has all this access to data, you're connecting to an internet. But again, I don't know what's happening technically, okay? I gotta tell you, this double arm thing is kind of bothering me now. I know what it is. I know what I did. I know what I did. I know what I did. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I'm like down a rabbit hole now. So I think what I did was, pull this out. What I did was I shoved this through here. That is a baby pin hitting the floor. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I sent this through where we put the pin. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what I did. Okay. So we take off our knuckle. We shove this. This is what live is, guys. I don't hide anything from you guys. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't. I put this here, and then that's what I did. Okay. And then what we do, let me take this off the screen. Take this off the screen. And then what I think I did was, I think I put it like this, and then I take this knuckle and I run it like this. Yeah, that's what it was. Look at that. Double arm, baby. Double arm, baby. Let me see. Also, this flannel is going to have to go in a minute because I'm sweating. Yeah, so this is a double arm. Yeah, there we go. but what it does is it limits your mobility. But it is stronger, right? So I can run this out here. I can move this along here a little more. Move this. And so now I have a double arm. That's what it was. Ah, God, it's been so long. And then I can run a pin here, but you lose mobility. You lose like you're always gonna have big knobs in the way and stuff, right? So this is the double arm. Does that make sense? So now you have, where is it? Let me open this. I can stretch this out to here-ish. Put this out to here. So now I have a full-on arm that is double. Man. Boom. So now you have a double braced arm, but you lose mobility. It's a little cumbersome. Okay, it's a little cumbersome. You should totally get a C-stand. C-stands are something that exists. I can't believe that took me that long to think about. I'm sorry, guys. Does that make sense? This is, again, these are like back against the wall situations. This is not always do this situations, okay? But this will give you a little bit more strength, you know? And you could put another knuckle here to just give you something to hang a weight on if you had to, but yeah. So make sure everything's tight. But this is a double arm. Some people don't do this and they just run it off of this. I'm not a fan of that. You guys know I like my pins. So, okay. Jeez, man. On a lighter note, tell us about the medal you got at Imaging. Oh, yeah. So, I didn't even think about that. It's in my pocket. So yeah, they gave me a medal. Crazy, right? What you guys might not know about PPA is they are an organization that you can keep on applying and trying for things like degrees. And you get different degrees. I don't know anything about them as much, that much. I know that this is the only one that you get for that isn't about yourself. The other ones are being a master photographer and you submit work for a bunch of years and stuff like that. This is the Craftsman. Let me see if I can get you guys a little bada bing here. So this is the Craftsman one, right? And this is given for basically education. Whoop. This is basically for education. I kind of earned it by default because I did so many classes, and I also am the first person to get this based on merits I gained by creating content for them. So there's different amount of, I want to say they call them merits. I thought they were points, but there's different amount of points or merits or whatever that you get on depending on the format of your teaching. I have done 6 years of platform classes and other stuff and the videos, and Angela Kirkian, the woman behind a lot of that's going on at PPA, she was like, oh, I think you've earned enough merits. And I was like, cool. I didn't really know what it was. So to give you guys an idea, everybody's getting in tuxedos and sequin gowns. And I am Tuesday, the last day of the show was like my hard day. Early morning stage show that I put everything out there. I go as hard as I can for that. And then I was doing booth demos all over the place. So I'm covered, white shirt, covered in fake blood, had the gaff tape all over me to all this. I had tools on me, all sorts of stuff, right? And they were so worried that I wasn't going to show up. They escorted me right out of a demo to that huge room where it looked like the Emmys. And I'm standing waiting to go on stage between a tuxedo and a sequin gown. I'm just like, nobody touch me. I'm covered in sweat and filth and fake blood. But Angela was, she asked me, who who do you want to sponsor? When they say sponsor, they mean who's going to walk you on stage and put the medal on you. And she's like, it's a big honor. I was like, Angela should do it. You know, Angela gave me a stage when she didn't even know who I was. She gave me a shot when she wasn't sure or know anything about me. She never once told me how to do what I do, how to do classes, how to be anything but myself. And I can't not be thankful for something like that. And I said this on Instagram, this is a thankless industry. Take the thanks when you get it. All right. So yeah. You know what? I think I did this double arm wrong. I think I did this double arm wrong, guys. I think it has to go through this. I messed up. But yeah, so pretty much they were just kind of acknowledging that I did stuff for education for, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Is it gonna do it? Let's see if it'll do it. No, I think I had it right the first time. I think I'm overthinking this now because I haven't done it in so long. I think I had it right the first time. Maybe I don't. No, wait. I guess this is another variation of it you could do, technically. No, I like the other way better. What I did here was I ran it through the same knuckle instead of adding a knuckle, and I don't like it. It's bending the arm. It's not really seating right. I was right the first time. Always trust your gut, kids. I'm a joke. Angela is amazing, and she is going to soon be the new CEO of Professional Photographers of America. And I hope to see a lot of you people there. I hope to see a lot of younger kids there. I think there's a few you young rats with your Supreme sweatpants on and stuff that I gotta kind of knock around and get you guys a little more serious. I feel like I'm fostering the younger generation for some reason. I don't know why it's on me, but yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so this works. Never mind. Yeah, let's put this away. This is gonna drive me crazy. So don't, if you are someone that's trying to look a little more, I don't want to say professional, but like credible, getting things through an organization that is 150 years old, that protects photographer rights, that makes you really work to get things like this. When you can say master photographer from PPA or craftsman photographer from PPA, there's people out there that can't say that, can they? So if you're looking to stand out a little bit in your area, or maybe when you're applying to be a speaker at these shows or whatever, maybe consider going after things like that, And if you're looking to network and be communal, what's better than that? What was the award Joe got at Imaging? I'm not honestly sure. All I know is that it's the American Society of Photographers, which is the organization that you can join once you get some level of degree from PPA. So now I'm able to join that. I wasn't before. What he got was almost their version of the Lifetime Achievement Award. So it is a monster honor. I'm proud of my boy. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the congrats. I appreciate it. Wait, maybe I did this arm. No, I'm not gonna. Oh my God, I got to get this out of my head. I can't look at this anymore. I got to practice with a C-stand now. See this? I did the C-stand video. Watching everyone walk was super inspirational, really. So for me, I was having a hard time getting into it, and I was trying to not seem ungrateful, but I think it's a lot. I mean, I'm looking at massive ball gowns and tuxedos, and I'm like, bro, I shoot zombies. Like, what are we doing here, right? What I think is, because it's inspirational for some people, they haven't changed it because you're waiting for your moment to go do that. Walk across that stage, deck to the nines, be in that group, be another level up. And I get that. But I think it could use a little modernization. And what I'm thinking of is maybe I pitch to them kind of a parallel track for younger photographers that can make those awards the way they want them to be. So instead of it being like the Golden Globes, it could have a different look to it, a different vibe to it. It can be their vibe. So I think that there's room for that, you know. Should have gapped the necktie. Nah, I look, you either come as you are or you go full in. And I wasn't going to go pretend I'm something I'm not. And I guess the one thing that kind of bothered me was they actually thought I wouldn't show up for it. Like, is that my reputation? Like, I'm that? No, like, you know, it's an honor. It's not, and not for nothing. They made this custom color t-shirt for me. I mean, I can't not feel welcomed in this organization. Is it a little tucked in shirt, a little too pristine for me? Sure. But they are not they're not saying that that's what they are. They are looking to break up that stiffness a little bit. They're looking for guys like us, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not gonna, how could you not support an organization that is supporting you so well? Don't forget, you're paying like, I think like $350 a year and you're getting 15 grand in gear insurance. They're fighting for our rights against AI with our images being used. I mean, there's so much. Gary Hughes put it the best I've ever heard it. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but there's two major trade shows are ImagingUSA PPA and WPPI, which isn't really a photographer's organization, really. It was PDN, but I don't know if it is anymore. WPI is fun. It's in Vegas. It's your uncle that teaches you how to drive stick. But imaging is your dad. You get locked up for the weekend for graffiti, you're calling your dad. You're calling Imaging USA. You're calling Professional Photographers of America. You need help with your business. You're trying to do this for real. You're trying to feed yourself. You're trying to be taken seriously. Imaging USA PPA. You want to go flex, have some fun, tons of energy, really go for things. You got a few days at WPI. The difference is that imaging stays with you for the whole year because that's an organization that's always there for you. WPI is like this a culmination of everybody coming together for a little bit, and it's a lot of fun and it's very cool. And I will be there next, you know, in March. But imaging, it doesn't stop at imaging, you know. I do find the issue with my 3 local PPA groups the lack of younger people. It's not an easy thing for younger people. Look, Vanessa Joy is the reason I am a part of this. Vanessa Joy went over to PPA and was like, you need to have this guy at your show. And Angela Kirkian was like, here's a stage. It was crazy. So I showed up and I was like, this organization is not for me. And then I realized it absolutely is for me because this is what I do. And this is literally Professional Photographers of America. Now they're giving me the degree. Now I've been on their stage for 6 years. We're protecting the copyrights. We're protecting this as an industry. We're protecting it so that the kids that are in these seats can make a living at this, can keep this alive, can learn proper craft, proper safety on set, not be a joke. Learn to, I don't know, stop lighting kids on fire and get real about shooting images. Like they're laughing over here. Why am I still saying stop lighting kids on fire? Why? Stop it. I don't care how long you've been doing it. You're stupid. And I'll stand by that, all right? I don't care. You know? I really hope that the younger kids find their pathway, their voice, their avenue in this industry. And I just think maybe there's a discussion to be had about starting some sort of affiliation or group or conduit, parallel universe of a younger demographic that can make it their own. When you're 150 years old and massive, you don't move too quick. And I think that awards ceremony probably has gone so long without having a little bit more of a modernization to it because everyone's been looking at it the same way as I want to aspire to do that. Don't change it. I want to have my chance to walk on stage wearing a tux. I don't subscribe to that. I honestly didn't even know what I did to earn this badge. But then after I got it and I was standing in line and listening to everybody about what was so important to them about their degrees and stuff like that, how hard they worked, how many years they put in, what they felt it did for them, how much better of a photographer they feel they are because of it, something to strive for maybe. Now they have something to flex. They've been acknowledged, and I get that. What I did reflect on was how many years I lugged 150 pounds of gear around these shows and got on those stages with no safety net and just hit go and just went for it and just swung hard and saw what was going to happen. How many times I was up there with a busted disc in my back, all my joints hurting me, on no sleep, trying to keep a pace, trying to make sure people are getting what they want out of this. How many times did I do that? I did a lot of work. I just didn't know I was doing it towards that medal. Now I have it. Not everybody has it. And in fact, a lot of people that had like a ton of them were telling me this was the one they were missing. Kind of crazy. It's like getting that, illustrated Pokemon card when you don't even collect them, You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where I'll leave that. And I want to thank Professional Photographers of America and everybody at Imaging and everything and part of PPA for granting me this validation. I appreciate it. I was wondering if you ever had any experience using D4 sync. I haven't touched a D4 in so long, man. I can't even tell you. The D4 is probably over a decade old now, right? The D6 came out in 2018. The D5 was, I want to say 2015. Yeah, I haven't touched a D4 in a long time, man. I'm sorry. There's probably a reason you're not finding many videos about it, because not a lot of people are trying to do anything with it right now. Pocket Wizard not being as big as they were a couple of years ago, what are the pros using to trigger remotes these days? So a lot of things are built in. Nikon, for example, has auto capture where you literally set it to recognize what area of a frame, how fast a moving subject, how big a subject, what type of subject. You can turn on and off actual autofocus points in a frame, and it's basically your remote camera without having to be a remote camera. You know who has good videos on this is David Bergman. David Bergman, look up David Bergman remote cameras. I'm pretty sure he has videos on it, but a lot of people are using, I think Cam Ranger, to be honest with you. I think is still like the leading remote camera system. But there's also in-camera options, like you can hook up an Ethernet connection to a flagship body, which then goes to a software that'll talk to Ethernet bodies. I haven't done a remote camera in a very long time. Man, is this the stream of stuff I haven't done in forever? And the technology has absolutely changed. But there's remote camera options inside actual cameras. So, not the D4 camera, the setting D4. Oh, the setting D4 on the Z6 III. Wow. Wow. I totally misread your question, Eric. I apologize. Woo. What? Well, that's that. Goodbye. I don't know what you're thinking you're doing. Let's see what D4 is. Sync release mode. So, synchronize the release of the shutters on the remote cameras. The shutters on the there might actually be a Nikon accessory that goes into this remote port on the bottom here that you can buy that'll do that. Take a look at that. I don't know what it's called, but I'm almost positive it's an accessory. All right. Do you have a recommendation for older battery-powered Pro Photo? What? Do I have a recommendation for an older battery-powered Pro Photo unit with something similar to a Pro Head exposed and protruded dome, and tube for use in a parabolic reflector. Do I have a recommendation for an older battery-powered? I mean, the reality is that you can do a B1X and put the dome in replace of the glass. You can't, it's not on, this doesn't let you do that, but the B1X, if you're looking for an older battery unit, B1X is 500 watt seconds, bigger, huge battery, and has metal clips. You pop this out and you put in, oh my God, what's it called? What is this dome called? Why are you guys hitting me with all this stuff that is going to make me go to the back of my brain here? So this is the frosted dome that goes on top, and that'll give you the dome effect that you're looking for, the external tube effect that you're looking for. So this right here, I'll put in the chat. You guys can do whatever. I used to have a lot of these, and I sold them all because I went to these lights that can't take it, and now I kind of wish I kept at least one, because I am looking to buy a Pro D3, and the Pro D3 can totally take that dome. But whatever, that's the least of my worries. The least of my worries. You're going to demo that FJ250? I don't have it with me, so no. It was released 5 seconds before a show, so good luck with that. If I get it in hand, maybe. I'll tell you what, Vic. I'm gonna be a spoiler. I guess it flashes. You know. All right. No, don't be sorry. It just took me a minute to digest what you were talking about. In all seriousness, the FJ250 is a nice release from Westcott. You're talking about a small unit that's 250 watt seconds that also takes the battery of an 800 watt second unit. Fantastic. The 2-light kit for under $1,000. Fantastic. Bowens mount, no adapters. Great. You know? But it's just brand new. Like, I don't even think they actually exist in stock yet. Yeah, so CSC is saying what I'm trying to say. Is like, basically they've added the auto capture feature. So while it might not shoot the moment you shoot, if it's a remote camera at a different angle, you can set it to take that shot when it recognizes whatever subject. Let's say you are shooting sports and you're shooting the net of a basketball hoop, and you only want it to shoot when someone is dunking. Okay, so you can set your camera in auto capture to recognize people, what area of the frame they're coming in at. They're not going to come in from behind the basketball net. They're only going to come in the front. So if you can set it to only shoot when it sees something coming in here, you can shut off the autofocus points behind the basket if you want. You can also change it to whatever size face. So let's say you want to worry about a bigger size face because they're going to be closer to lens than someone that's on the ground that's smaller. And you can also change, you can also set it to only recognize a certain speed. Combine all those together. If it meets that correlation, it'll just keep firing when it sees something. You don't even think about it. So is it the same thing? No. Is it a great alternative that's built into your camera? Absolutely. Is it something worth testing out? You know it. You know it. Wow. Oh, wow. We're way over time, guys. We are way over time. If you guys get a like, I'd appreciate it. I feel like every question you ask me, I'm full of rust. This is not cool. I feel like I came out of imaging strong, and now I feel rusty. But this 2-arm thing is going to drive me nuts. Someone in the comments is going to be like, that's stupid, but whatever, hate me. I don't care. Last call for questions, guys, and then I got to get out of here. Best Italian spot in NYC? That's so subjective, I'm not even going to bother. And you're talking to a guy that walks and eats. Like, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. I'm a, street food for life. Do you think AI would have a place for these guys lighting people on fire? The problem I think you're having with that is these idiots are telling everyone it's an experience for the people being photographed. That, oh, you get lit on fire. And maybe in small towns or whatever, people are going like, oh, I feel so special. Here, we look at you like you're an idiot. Like, I'm so sorry, but it's like you're lighting children on fire, usually around canned fog, which is made of butane. Literally has a giant warning on about how flammable it is. Indoors, I've seen low ceilings. I've seen people setting the fire that are just like another person that has to be on set, and they freak out and they back up. What if they hit one of those lights, one of those C-stands that are boomed out, and it just crushes everybody? Like, what are we doing? It's not worth it. It's stupid. If the client really wants flames and you want to type in put flames on football or whatever stupid thing he's doing, that would be up to the client if they want that, right? I just think they're selling them the idea of it being an experience rather than just a finished image. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen anything from any of these people that are pushing for this that has been, in my opinion, great lighting, great composition, frame blocking of models. I haven't seen anything that's made me go like, that's a great, nothing. Nothing's made me say that. And you could say I'm biased, but like, I'm just done. Just done. I'm over it. I think it's stupid. I don't want to be in a world where I have to talk about someone being hurt, which you already have plenty of models that have shown burn scars from this. We've seen plenty of failures happen. I think someone just lit like a sofa on fire while they were had a model sitting on it, and it caught them on fire. I'm going to say, this is my last line about the fire thing, and then we got to stop talking about it. If you really think what you're doing is safe, go get your pyro license. Then don't change anything about your practices and watch how fast you lose that pyro license. You can tell me you have a fire extinguisher next to you all you want, but guess what? They're already on fire by the time you need that, aren't you? Stupid. It's not worth it, and you're hurting us as an industry as a whole. You're going to raise our insurance as professionals. You're going to give it another reason that people think that this is a joke profession, that we just push a button for a living, that we're not serious, that it doesn't take a lot to do what we do. You're just discrediting us more and more. So I'm not for it. I think it's stupid. I did the video like 2 years ago at this point explaining my thing. And remember, if you are creating an environment for your subject and you are inviting them to that environment, your setup, your set, your everything, you're responsible for them. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a food allergy. You are responsible for them, okay? All right. I got a feeling I'm going to get so much flack for this one. We're talking about AI. We're talking about fire. I got a bad feeling about all this stuff. Okay. So don't forget, we got Daniel Norton next week doing Mode Dial, which is going to be good. Coffee with Creators every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern on the main channel. The link is pinned to the top. If you're new here, make sure you check out Coffee with Creators. Last episode with Joe McNally was awesome. All right. Back to light meters, okay? Would you buy a used 308 or any modern one for that matter? Sure. Why not? Older ones had silver cells that can die out, but the new ones are pretty digital. So I think it's fine, you know? I will say if you got it and you felt there was something off with it, Sekonic has good support. But I also think it's something that how much you're really going to save, and it's going to be in your kit forever. I would just buy a new one. We're talking about, how much are these now? Like 2 and change? Sekonic 308. How much are we talking about here? $264 for something that's going to stay. You guys have spent more on jank lenses. You guys have spent more on probably ND filters for video. You've probably spent more on batteries. Why are you going to mess around with something that is supposed to be a precision tool that you're going to have forever, right? So, ooh, you can get red bumpers for it, blue bumpers. Oh, they sell the replacement case. Nice. All right. Look at that. Look at that. So that's where I'm at. I think you guys can just invest and be okay with investing and move forward. I'll throw it in the chat. I'm thinking, my thinking was a used one so I could buy the big boy later. See what you really use on the light meter, because I think a lot of people buy like a high-end light meter and they use this only the functions that a 3-way give you anyway. I personally do appreciate 1, flash duration numbers, and 2, percentage of ambient versus percentage of flash exposure within a setting. Meaning higher end light meters will say, like, let's say 50% flash, 50% ambient. That means that it's basically acting as a fill light and it'll look basically natural. If it said something like 90% flash, 10% ambient, well then you can get a dramatic look when 90% of the frame is your flash and the rest is darkness, which is the 10%, right? So you're able to really show how much control you have over the space with the higher end light meters, which is what I appreciate. Also, high speed sync. You can get readings from high speed sync if you're someone that uses high speed sync a lot, and you really need to get a meter reading. The higher end meters will do that for you as well, but you have to use it. If you know, one thing I will say is I wouldn't even sell my lower end light meters. I just throw them in a different case, so I always have a light meter on me no matter what. So I keep my, what do I have, an 858 in my main kit, but my older, what is it, a 350 I think I have? I keep that in the light case at some studio or whatever, you know, so that I always have a light meter just in case, who knows, whatever, right? Or sometimes I just have a second light meter so I can give it to an assistant while I have mine, you know? All right. It is, man, trains going home going to be rough. We didn't shoot anything again, Quinn. Instead of messing around with a double arm scenario over here. I got a weird feeling I could do this. Whatever. Anyway, hope you guys are good. Wednesday I'll be live. Don't forget, Victoria Grainer she is a food stylist and a creative director, you know, the people that you work with and that hire you and stuff. So make sure you check out Corporate Creators on Wednesday on the main channel. There is two all-day replays on this channel. That is 8 hours of marathon per replay. So you have 16 hours of demos you might have missed. Put it on the background, run it as a screensaver, pick up something you missed, understand something you didn't the first time. Go watch all day replay. If you're new here, hit subscribe. I want to get to 100K on this channel this year, guys. And other than that, I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. I will see you on the next one. All right? Later, guys. I'll see you. Peace.